Hello, this is Sky Payne from the Star Wars Collectors Archive podcast. And I hope Steve, my co-host, doesn't mind. I'm putting this up on the channel right now, on the YouTube channel, because I just saw Knives Out by Rian Johnson, and I have a couple thoughts. This is going to have spoilers. If you haven't seen it, come back later after you've seen the movie. First of all, my quick review is, of course, it's an awesome movie. Of course, Rian Johnson is a great director. Of course, Last Jedi was great. And the reason you didn't like it is because you're too stupid. If you didn't like it, it's because you don't like the concept of failure being a thematic for your Star Wars movies. In that case, I'm sorry. I really do apologize. Just smarten up and learn to like good movies, even if they have plot holes. But that's not the point of this movie, although it is adjacent to where I'm going. Knives Out. My biggest problem with it is it didn't have the Radiohead song in it. Knives Out. Okay, on the surface, right? It's a whodunit. Okay, so all right, fine. It's a very interesting whodunit because you're like, who done it? And then it's like, oh, she done it. And then it's like, oh no, she didn't done it. And that's cool. That's a cool way to make a whodunit. And I remember, liking the twists and turns and the fake twists and the fake turns and the acting's brilliant, all that stuff. And then sort of on the first level, it's this really searing analysis of generational wealth and how the next generation, by being given so much, somehow doesn't actually earn what it's been given, and how only the people who work for something can truly appreciate it. An amazing destruction of both the ineffective left wing, the daughter that goes to Smith but actually ends up selling out her friend whenever the money comes to her. And then the generation that goes to the alt-right and is like a little tiny Nazi, Like everybody's guilty. Everybody who grows up in this situation of inherited generational wealth is guilty. Just different levels of guilt. And the fact that Marta is the only one who isn't, because she's a good nurse, because she does her job, that's great. And so on one level, that's what this movie's about. And obviously, that's the most clear, deep meaning to this film. I want to go back and rewatch it because I found it so fascinating. But one second. What if the movie is not really about that? I'm going to say one sentence, and this is going to change the way you see the movie forever. The main character, Harlan Thwombi, is George Lucas. Now you're laughing and you're saying, oh, Sky, everything's George Lucas or Kanye with you. Listen, it all makes sense. It all fits together. George Lucas is the old, bearded genius who created a massive empire through his own intellectual strength. He gives it to this next generation of filmmakers, this next generation of fans who feel that they own it and it's theirs. And what do they do with it? Boring, predictable stuff. Again, I like Force Awakens, but still, you understand the concept, right? That this generation that gets it, once Lucas essentially kills himself, sort of by mistake, selling it to Disney, the white slavers, once he's done this, the people who get this wealth, who get all this information, they're not like him. They're not artists. They're not geniuses who come up with ideas and put them out there. They're just good people who inherited all of this information. That's where Marta comes in. Marta is Rian Johnson. Marta knows what it is to be an artist. Now, in the movie, it's not really about, Marta's not exactly the same thing as the person who employs her. But still, the concept is pretty similar in that she has to work for what she earns the same way that he had to work for what he earns. And when Rian Johnson's making this movie, I think on some level, that's what he's going for. Because look at the people who are with Marta, Like at first they're all like, come on, Rian Johnson, make your Star Wars movie. We love it. We love it when cool, hip, people not like us really, but like cool, hip, artsy people, try and make a movie, And as long as it all goes the way we expect it to go, we'll be happy. But then it doesn't go the way. A movie about failure was brought to you. Luke Skywalker is an interesting character is brought to you. And all of a sudden, they all turn from the left to the right. Everyone fights against it and tears him apart. You don't actually deserve it. You didn't earn it. It's ours. The family is us. The family are the fans. The family are the other filmmakers who are just pumping out the same garbage time and time again. So there it is. Rian Johnson is Marta. Old Mr. Twombly is George Lucas. And this movie proved we need to give Rian Johnson his trilogy. We need to let him go. Because the one thing that George Lucas fought for more than anything, more than plot points, Joseph Campbell, hero's journey, all that BS, was that an artist's vision is what matters most in artistic product. If he wants Greedo to say McClunky, God damn it, Greedo says McClunky. And he made it himself. All right. I don't even know if Steve agrees with this, so I apologize for putting it on the channel. But we might get some views because I defended Last Jedi and I defended Rian Johnson. All right. Oh, listen to our podcast too, the Star Wars Collectors Archive podcast. We had a good episode. We talked last episode. It's on this channel. We talked all about like collecting 9 nub. That's fun. Old Star Wars toys.